well. Welcome back to the barn. Welcome back to the channel. How y'all doing? I am Grant, also known as Papa Bear. Hey, by the way, before I forget, I forgot to hit that button up there at the top there. Can you hit that red button that says subscribe on it? I appreciate it. Helps us out here on the farm. If you help me out a little bit. Well, today's Wednesday. Hump day. Oh, today is Wednesday the 19th. Wow. Can't believe it's already Wednesday. This week is flying by. I haven't done much this week, though. Last 2 days, I just, well, I've done a little bit here and there, stuff, cleaning up here and doing a little bit of this stuff here and outside, and nothing really major. It's been really cold. Today we're only going to get into, I think it's going to be barely 20 degrees. Yesterday we got into 18 degrees was a high, and today will be in the low or the upper 20s. Supposed to get snow today, and then later tonight it's supposed to get nasty. We'll see. Trying to think what else. Did you guys watch that video that I posted on Sunday? That was a good video. This week will be this Sunday coming up. We'll be talking about our best friend. That's going to be the title of this Sunday's video. So if you have time to watch it, watch it. If you don't, I understand. We're all got busy things going on in our life. Stop sitting around listening to me talk. Let's see. Wow. You know, I'll tell you what. They talk about, you hear a lot about division in this country. How divided we are in this country. And do you know what divides us in this country? It isn't the color of our skin. Okay? It isn't our beliefs that divide us. It isn't our jobs that divide us. It's the media that does it. Hollywood is the big driver behind it. That's what divides our country. Now you say, what am I talking? What are you talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is simply this. Now, I didn't watch it because I used to watch Saturday Night Live back when they were really good, when it was funny. I tried to watch Saturday Night Live in the late 90s. Late 90s was pretty much it for Saturday Night Live as far as I was concerned. Because I don't know, I just like the old characters like Dan Aykroyd, Two Wise, the good Saturday Night Live. Back in the late 70s, 80s, that's when Saturday Night Live to me was good. Church Lady, and but after that I stopped watching it. They had the big 50th anniversary deal on Sunday. I think, yeah, Sunday is what it was. Now, I've watched a lot of his movies. Matter of fact, I think I've watched probably all of his movies. Big, Castaway, The Greyhound. I think that's the name. Yeah, The Greyhound. Captain Phillip. I've watched pretty much all of his movies that he's done. Forrest Gump. You pretty much know what I'm talking about now, right? If you don't, then you apparently didn't see it or haven't heard. You've been living underneath the rock. It isn't because he made fun of the MAGA. I mean, Saturday Night Live has been known for making political views and so forth. But Sunday, there were several different sticks that poked, causing division in our country. You know, there was one in the opening, and there was just several statements made during that. But the biggest one was Tom Hanks. He supposedly dressed up as a MAGA, which I just call myself a red. I'm just a blue red. I'm just a blue collar, red, white, and blue American pie, Mother American pie kid. Okay, I'm not a MAGA. I don't like that title. I mean, I guess I make America great. I guess that means I'm part of that group. He made fun of us, or made fun of the MAGA group. He made fun of the lower class Americans. He made fun of the Christians. I mean, just in one skit, he just came out of the gate swinging, didn't he? Now, some of you will say, "Oh, you're overreacting. It wasn't that bad. It was funny, blah blah." Just move on. Well, I could move on, but we need to cover the issue that what's dividing our country. It's the media. It's Hollywood. That's who divides us. Like when and I've seen the skit now. I've watched it several times. The game host came shake his hand. Oh, no, I'm gonna shake your hand. No. I hate to tell you that I know African Americans. I think that's what they like to be called now these days. I'm not up to date on pronouns. So I don't keep up with all that. I don't look when I look at someone. I don't look at their skin color. As long as you treat me fair, I treat you fair. And that's how That's how we should be living our life. We all learn, or should say, most of us learned way early in our lives, to treat our neighbor, treat our friends with respect. Respect each other. You used to be able to cross the street without, when the light turned red, you could cross the street and not even look. But now you always are looking down the street, seeing what's coming next. Because we're so divided. Not myself, I don't treat no one differently. Some will say, well, you got a Confederate flag hanging up. Yeah, I do. It's part of my heritage. First of all, it's not a racist flag. Some have torn down our statues in the last 4 years, previous 4 years. They tore down the statues, tore down, anything that had to do with Southern Confederacy. And I talked about this before in videos, that what people need to understand, the ones that write history is not the one that loses. It's the one who wins. And there has been this lie ever since the Civil War, what the Civil War was all about. It wasn't about slavery, friends. Okay? First of all, let's get something straight. White people didn't own slaves. Well, let me rephrase this. There was a good portion of African Americans who owned slaves. They're the ones who sold people from Africa to white slave owners or slave ships. I know, it's a shocker, right? Maybe some of you know history, and some of you know that what I'm talking about is true. And some of you are like, oh my gosh, he's a racist. Well, I'm not being racist. I'm just telling you the truth. That's all what this channel is about, is showing you the truth. I don't sit around here and try to hide anything from you. I tell you how it is, and if you don't like it, too bad. But the South, it was about land's rights. It was because the Northern didn't like how the South was holding taxes back, wasn't paying the federal government. That's really what the Civil War was about. Northern people had more slaves than they. Have you ever seen the movie Old Glory? Or Old Glory? I think it's Glory is the name of the movie, and it's about the 54th Regiment. It was all African Americans, Union troop. Watch that movie, okay? Then you come back and tell me, because it's based off a true story. I mean, it's based off a true account. I'm not saying what other people did, okay? I'm not talking about the past. I don't want to get back into all that, but you know, God created us all the same. We all bleed the same. We all breathe the same air. Most of us put on our pants the same way. None of us put them on differently. You know, so this stuff that Tom Hanks did made me totally look at him at a different view. Because he's the one who's racist. He's helping divide this country. Just like the left right now is having a fit because of Mr. Musk and you know what Trump's doing and stuff, and you know, I don't know what's going on. You know, none of us do, but I can tell you right now, exposing what the left has done, exposing money. You know, then you had, I saw today, he's a joke anyways. I think he's just jealous, or he's afraid what'll happen to him. Bill Gates warning that millions are going to die because of what Musk is doing. When we defund the aid, you know, aid to this helps with the blah blah. I mean, I don't take anything Bill Gates says. I can't stand the man. I personally, sorry, I just don't like him. That's my God-given right not to like someone. I don't like what his policies are. I don't like what he says, and I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. He's up there with all the other, you know, left. You know, he can't be trusted. You know, I think it's great what's going on in Washington. You know, I think that the 4 years that Trump was in there before, we saw a really huge change, and then we saw a rigged election, and that's really what happened. But this time around, we went out and voiced our opinion, who we wanted in the office. And he's doing what he said he would do. And he's doing it in a fast, I mean, he's cleaning up house. And I think he's going way deeper this time around. I think that he said, well, you know, I thought I'd have another 4 years. Then he realized that his plane got railroaded because they rigged the election. So he didn't get to do that stuff that he wanted to do last time. And this time, he said, I'm going to do it right out the gate. I'm going after him. You know, not letting these left in has really thrown them, into an uproar. You know, and then you got these protesters on President's Day who are out there protesting because of what Musk is doing and Trump. They call them Nazis and blah 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 blah. You know, they're in a frenzy because, you know, the no more sex. Yeah, we're not letting men into women's sports. You know, and that's uproaring, and it's uproaring because they no longer are going to be. Hey, what you doing there, cat? Get off there! Get off! Get off! Milo's on her chair right now, so she can't lay down, so she has to get up on the table. Yeah, so what, you know, they're just, the whole left side is just, because they're going to get exposed. They're not going to get their free money anymore. You know, not only that, you know, all these pronouns and people that think that they're are he's and they're supposed to be she's, and you know, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, they're mad. You know, that's what happens when you stir up the devil's crowd, right? You know, when you start stirring up the devil's crowd, man, they get mad. They come out swinging. And that's what's going on right now. And I think it's great. I think that we should not have. God created only two sexes in the universe, okay? And I'm sorry if this offends people, but it's the truth. There was Adam and Eve. It wasn't a Steve and Steve. There isn't a Eve and Eve. There was Adam and Eve. They were created for each other. That's simple. All this other nonsense that's gone on for the last, 20 years now, I think? I don't know when it all started. I know that it started going downhill a long time ago. I'm sorry. I don't believe that no other flag should be in our schoolhouse unless it's the American flag. There should be a Black Lives Matter flag hanging in a classroom. There shouldn't be a pride flag in the classroom. God created the rainbow, and the devil's crowd has used it as a sinful thing. So I know this is a really heavy video, and I know that I'm probably going to lose some of you, and that's fine. I don't care. God didn't put me out here to speak the good feel message as I talked about on Sunday. I'm not here to make you feel good and have many viewers. That's not my goal here. My goal is actually that one day my grandkids, hopefully my kids and my grandkids will go back and see what Mimi and Papa Bear, how they had started a farm and lived their life as godly as they could. And they stood on principle, stood on the Bible. They stood on one nation under God theory. That's what we live by here. There in our home we have this. This is how our house is ruled. God above us, me being the man, my wife is the helpmate, and my children are my children, and they are to obey and listen to their father and their mother. And that's the way it is. Even if they're adults, they're still to show us the respect and honor. Especially when they come to our home, they are to show us respect. And they know that I'm not the most liked guy, okay? I really am not, because they know that I don't put up with nonsense. They know that I'm you mess with the bull, you get the horns, okay? My wife's more the one they can go to because she's more a little lenient, but that's the way mothers are supposed to be. But she will always come to me. They always think they're going to go, oh, well, I'll go to mom. Well, mom's always going to tell dad everything. So they're not really they can go through mom, but eventually it's going to get back to me. And then it gets me up. My wife always will start off something like, now, I don't want you to get upset, but I need to tell you something. Like, just spill the beans. I don't want to hear no roundabout thing. I just drop it. Drop the bomb. Let's hear it. Get it out. Because I know it's something with one of the kids. It's something that either I did or maybe they're wanting something. I'm the one who the kids surely. Now, they will lean on me sometimes, but a lot of times they go through mom. And there's nothing wrong with that. Someone in the house has got to have a little firm grasp on things. And I got to be the one who always is sometimes the bad guy. Nah, I have no problem with that. I'm not the most liked guy because I stand on Christian views. I don't believe that there should be anything except man and female marriages. If you would take I got nuts and bolts in there, okay? And if I take two nuts and put them together and try to get them to connect to something let's say if I was connecting a board or something, well, I can't use just two nuts to put them together. I got to use a nut and a bolt to hold that thing that I'm fixing. You get my drift? And that's the way God created it to be, you know? I mean, He didn't create two screws, He created a nut and a bolt, you know, so that way they could go together, you know, and you get the drift what I'm saying. I'm trying to say PG here, but you get what I'm saying. Any other thing is not the way it's supposed to be. You know, most people will say, well, what do you, God loves everybody. Well, yes, God loves everybody, but God does not love the sin that men are in. Okay? And most people, and I've even had, you know, some churches I went to, and, well, you don't really, you're kind of taking the thing out of context and blah, blah, blah about homosexuality, and I'm like, really? If that was the case, then how come, if God really truly didn't like the sinful lifestyle that people were living in Sodom and Gomorrah, then why did He destroy it? And about that time, there will be either a deacon or someone will try to usher the pastor away from me. Because he knows, they know it, and the pastor knows it, that I just got him. You know, I've visited some churches, and I've seen things, and you know, like I said, I want to hear some good old biblical preaching, the old-fashioned type gospel songs that was sung, you know, and that's the stuff that moves your soul and moves you to be convicted under Christ. And you know, there's nothing wrong with a good field message once in a while, but there's also time that I need a good stern talking to. You know, and that's the same way with my children. I believe that's the same thing with any child. You know, sometimes, you know, parents always will say, I want to be their friend. Well, you're not to be their friend. I mean, you're to be there as a coach. You're there to be their support team. You're to be their discipline. You're to be their person that they can turn to, but they also need a person that will put them in their place when they're out of line. Okay, I don't understand the concept of, I want to be my child's friend. Well, no, you're not to be their friend. Okay, and, you know, that's caused a lot of conflict, you know, in marriages and stuff. Because there's one parent that wants to be the stern parent, and then the other parent says, well, I just want to be their friend. I want them to like me. I want them to tell me whatever's on their mind. Well, yes, that's true, okay? But there's a way to go about doing that. Like I talked about on Sunday, a lot of people either are far left or they're the far right. Whatever happened to the middle ground? Did we ever forget what happened in the middle ground? Can't people just be in the middle ground and you kind of be the, you know, the friend that you can talk to, but also be a little strict, but at the same time you're connected and leveled out in the middle. I know I went right off because of the whole Tom Hanks, and the whole Saturday Night Skit, but you know, we always hear about division in our country, and it's because of race. You know, well, it isn't about race. What it is Hollywood, the media, our politicians, the people that we have elected have divided our country. They pitted us against each other. Do you know what would happen if we all got together? Now, I'm not saying we all have to get together and say kumbaya, okay? But imagine if we all started getting together, being one, united. The old saying, united we stand, or divided we fall. I remember 9/11. I remember the day after 9/11. How this country came together. And slowly since 9/11, we slowly, bit by bit, have fallen apart. What happened? What happened? What happened to them days when our nation was in mourn and darkness, and we stood together hand in hand? It didn't matter if you were yellow, pink, green, black, white. It didn't matter. You stood together in unity. We saw it across our nation. People ran out and bought American flags up like they'd never have. When I grew up as a little boy going to Grandma's house, Grandpa always has a flag flying. I remember neighbors always having flags. Didn't matter what street you were on, you always had an American flag fly. And then as years went by, the flag slowly dissipated. Not all, because of veterans, because people in the service, schools, and then places still had flags, but the flag kind of dissipated from the front porches. Not all, but most of the time. Then 9/11 happened, and man, we all became patriotic again. Songs came out, created a unity of the nation. And then we just slowly fell apart again. And we've been apart ever since then. Didn't take right away, but within a year or 2 years after 9/11, it was slowly, we separated again. And we became two dogs barking at each other. And the whole time, the puppet master above us, who's holding our leashes, putting us together. Not in unity, not united, but pitting us against each other. Something to think about. So remember, love one another. It's what God commanded in the Bible. We are to love our neighbor as we love ourselves and as we love Jesus Christ. All right? Let's get back together. Let's get ourselves back on one level playing field and get united again, like we were on 9/11. Ooh, that's some good stuff I just talked about. Well, again, I thank you for visiting the channel. We love you, and we thank you. And like I said, if you haven't already, please reach up there for me and hit that subscribe button so that way I don't forget. Also, we'll see you on Sunday for uplifting message on Sunday, and it'll be titled, I think I'm going to title it Our Best Friend. I think that's going to be the title of that one. All right. We love you, and we thank you for visiting the farm, and we'll talk to you on the next video.